Hi, we're The Garden.
And these are records in my life.
Hi guys, thanks for checking out Records in My Life. We're here with Wyatt and Fletcher from The Garden. Guys, thanks for being on the show.
No problem at all.
Thanks for having us.
How you guys doing?
Doing pretty good, in a pretty healthy feeling state.
And you're on the road now with Mac DeMarco and then the Flaming Lips. How's that all going for you?
Flaming Lips comes a little bit later. Right now we're with Mac DeMarco, and it's honestly been a really, it's one of those things you just don't really know exactly what to expect, so it's just, you make the best out of the whole ride,
Were you guys fans of Mac before the tour started?
We were.
Yeah,
We listened to his music like from time to time, and then we became friends with him, and then we toured with him. So
yeah.
we would hang out.
I like all of his records. There's not one I don't like. I think they're really good. Mac, you better be watching this, bud.
So you guys are bros, true brothers. When you're younger, you kind of get stubborn. I guess when you're older, you're stubborn as well. But that when you wanted to hear something, and you're gonna, you got to take that shit off. And when you really wanted, is there a record like a favorite record?
Oh yeah, totally. I know exactly what you're talking about. Like when I heard something that I didn't like, I'd be like, oh, I just want to listen to this instead. And it was mostly kind of, it was more like probably like the Adolescence or like Shattered Faith or
Definitely Discharge.
Yeah, like maybe something like Discharge.
Just like Turn
that.
On.
As a kid, I was just like, no, I just want to listen to that, so.
Turn On.
That would probably be around the vibe that we're talking about.
Sorry, go on. No. It's all you.
Aggression for sure was one of those.
Oh yeah,
bands.
Aggression is a big one. Yeah, JFA, probably Jodie Foster's Army.
Just something that hits hard immediately.
Yeah, Jodie Foster's Army was a big one growing up. They were like a massive. Like I showed all my every new friend that I met, I put the headphones in and showed them, even if they didn't like it.
Which is a great name for a band, Jodie Foster's Army.
Yeah.
They've had legions of fans out here, but they weren't as big because they're probably much bigger in the U.S. Like your part,
Arizona based actually.
Were they Arizona based?
Yeah.
So you guys worked on your album with Rob Schnaff. What albums? He's produced a ton of stuff from like Beck and Elliott Smith. Any favorite albums from him that?
I actually didn't know. I wasn't really familiar with any of his work before I met him, to be honest. I know of some of the artists he's worked with, but I wasn't really familiar with anything, and we didn't actually really talk about much of what he's actually done in the past. It was brought up a few times, but very vaguely. We kind of like had our own like legacy with him, and just.
I was more like into the fact that he was on Saturday Night Live one time, and he played with in the background I think it was Elliott Smith's band. I found that to be like one of the coolest things he told me that he had done.
Yeah,
because I was like, you were on Saturday Night Live. That's crazy. I still can't find the video though.
I'm sure it's everything's on the internet these days.
I looked, I couldn't find it.
We looked, we spent a long time.
He couldn't even find it. It was weird.
All right, let's talk about a Minutemen. I know we were talking before the camera started to roll. What's your favorite Minutemen or Firehose record?
Minutemen record, I gotta say without a doubt, the first EP, Paranoid Time. That's that used to give me goosebumps as a kid. Like I used to just get so freaking pumped up listening to that thing. I still kind of do nowadays. It's just one of those records. As a kid, I remember the first time I heard it, I was on my desk at home, and I was just like, what the hell?
Yeah, I remember that. We were in the same place.
And we were in the same place, and we were just getting so pumped up, just like, this is like, screw every other punk band we've ever heard. This is it, And so we just kind of, from there on, throughout all of high school, it was like, just like, it was like Minutemen.
If you're into like old punk music, Minutemen's usually not the first band you come across, So when you come across it, you're like, whoa, this was part of that, but this doesn't sound anything like that. So it kind of makes you feel like you found a gem in like a like a haystack or something.
There's just something so raw about that record. It's just like, boom, I don't know. I wish our recordings could sound like that.
Give us a good young punk band from you're listening to these days.
Regarding punk bands, I can name one in Seattle that I really like. There's a band called So Pitted, and as far as like recordings go and like the music, I could get really like pumped to that. As far as like a punk band goes or something like that.
And what's the name of their album?
It's called Neo. Yeah, that's a good record. I'll listen to that front to back all the time.
We tour with them.
Yeah, we toured with them last year in October, and one of the most fun tours just because when you tour with a band that you really like, it's really fun to listen to them every night, and then you just kind of like, I don't know, just it makes the whole tour so much more fun, and they're nice people, so.
Cool. And how old were you guys when you first started playing together?
I'd say probably
10.
10, 11.
10, 11?
Yeah.
And is there a record that you learned to play off of? What was the first one?
No, man, we were kind of.
I think it was kind of the same thing where we just started playing, and
I think
we
we
didn't
were
really
kind of
have like.
stubborn in that sense.
Yeah, we didn't have anything specific. I remember playing drums to Christian Death records on my headphones on the CD player because I had the old compilation that Christian Death was on called Hell Comes to Your House, and it was like a really old compilation with all these like LA Orange County punk bands, and Christian Death had a song called Dogs on there that was like really slow and like gross and kind of scary, and I remember always playing that on drums when I was like a really young kid.
I think the first bass line, and one of the only ones I ever learned as a kid, was the band Aggression, once again from Oxnard, California. They had a song called Dear John Letter, and at the beginning of it was just the drums, like, and then it was and so it was just the bass and the drums, and they had just had this awesome bass line. I was like trying to impress, and I remember just being like, hey Dad, look, I learned this like bass line from Dear John Letter, and he was like, oh, that's so rad. And yeah, I just like that song. It's a really good song.
So what record, let's do one last album. What's a record you have a fond memory of listening to with your dad?
Definitely Prodigy, Fat of the Land, or Fatboy Slim, the one with all the records on the front. I forgot what it's called.
Or Killing Joke.
Oh, We've Come a Long Way, Baby. Yeah,
Killing Joke, the album that's all orange with the clown's face on it.
Yeah,
Fire.
It's the one that Dave Grohl drummed on.
it's like
Okay,
early
right.
2000. Man, that's a good record.
I remember
That's
going to
really
construction sites with him and listening to that.
That's a good one.
That's a pretty heavy record. I mean,
It
they've
is,
always been
yeah.
heavy, but that album is kind
Total.
of extra heavy.
My favorite song on that one is Total Invasion, where he changes his voice. Oh gosh.
Even Seeing
That
Red,
song's
it's just
great.
like just bass and drums for like a long time, just like at the beginning. That's a really good album.
Total Invasion is an underrated song.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
So you guys are going after this tour. You're recording. Are you starting to record a new album? Or have you
We
started
We
a new
actually
one
just
already?
did it.
You
Yeah.
just finished.
Well, we have been recording. We have some more to do, but when we get back from this, we go straight back into that. It was basically like a lot of recording, go on tour for a month and a half, and then go back straight to recording, and then go back on tour after that again.
Yeah.
So
Super close to being done.
Tell us a tiny bit about it. You're not supposed to probably, but tiny producer. Or did you work with an outside producer?
it's more independent for sure.
Yeah,
It's more independent?
It's mainly just us and then one other friend just working on it together in this little store space.